Hey everyone, this is Emmanuel, your body code practitioner out here in Lehi, Utah. Just want to do a really quick video in regards to this amazing concept that Dr. Bradley Nelson and the team found out called preconception trapped emotions. I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and I just wanted to kind of just review all the notes that I have, mental notes, with working with clients. And so for those of you who are kind of new to the emotion code and the body code, I would look up what is the emotion code 15 minutes on YouTube. I might put it down on the comments section down there, but look at that video first on YouTube. That way you kind of know what a trapped emotion is. But basically it's just an energy that gets stuck in your body, an emotional energy that gets stuck in the body, and it can cause multiple issues. For example, irritation of the tissues can give you physical, emotional symptoms, can also make you very reactive. And so the average human has between 200 to 300 of these. You don't even know that they have them. So that's why you might be dealing with issues with wealth, with love, with body issues, and emotional issues. And so, but there's a really amazing concept called the preconception trapped emotion. And so what is that? See, the thing is a lot of people, whether you're Christian or whatever you believe in, there's some people that believe in past lives, there's some people that believe in different things. And the question is like, who created that information? Who's the one that started it? And what I love is that everything in the body code and the emotion code is so methodical. For example, everything can be tested using muscle testing. You see, like pushing down on your arm and asking certain questions, or using your fingers to muscle test someone. But the real test is going up to someone who doesn't know anything about this type of work, and you're pushing down their arm, and they're like, why is my arm strong? Why is my arm weak? And that's where it gets really interesting, because think about it. If you tell someone, ask yourself, do you have a heart wall? And I'm pushing down on someone's arm and their arm is strong, which means it's positive. They don't even know what the word means, heart wall, but their subconscious knows exactly what that means, that they have trauma around their heart that blocks them in different ways. Do you have a trapped emotion I can release right now? What if the arm goes strong? So that's what I love about this work, is that even if you're a skeptic, if you start releasing energies and your pain goes away, that's real. If you've had pain for 10, 15, 20 years and it goes away, that's real. If you start losing depression or anxiety, you start feeling more comfortable with yourself. Those are real, tangible things that someone who's a stranger can actually feel. But then when we go into deeper concepts like is it possible that I received a trapped emotion in the spirit body? So a moment where before I was born, I was with the Creator. Now, two of the questions that Dr. Brad asks people that they can kind of confirm muscle testing what they were doing is, one is, what were you doing back then? Were you working on your gifts and talents in the spirit world? And your arm would test positive. Then you would say, okay, well, what else were you doing? Were you being a guardian angel to a family member that was in the world, but you were in the spirit body? And the arm confirms yes. And so that's what's kind of neat, is that there's so many religious beliefs out there, so many everything like that. But the fact that you're receiving tangible results with the emotion code and body code, you start thinking like, if this is real, and my body got fixed, and then my organs got fixed, and my anxiety got fixed, so why is it too far of a stretch to believe that we were spirit bodies before we came here? See, so you start kind of opening up your mind to a life that basically you have a veil over your mind. You don't even remember doing it. But if you start seeing, again, more noticeable results, like I knew somebody who got rid of these little preconception trapped emotions, and her headache of 20 years, she spent over $100,000 on her headache trying to get rid of it. And there were two issues with it. There was like some sort of a resonating energy in her ethmoid bone, kind of like if you were to stick your finger through your eye, like you would touch the ethmoid bone. And the second thing was this premortal trapped emotion that basically has to do with preconception trapped emotion that was 777 years old. That was combined, both of them together. This head, she started getting this headache all the time. And for the first time ever, the next day, she didn't have a headache again. And Dr. Brad was working with her in front of everybody on the stage. And so what's really interesting is when you find these preconception trapped emotions, which is in the body code, you can ask these questions. You can say, for example, how old is this thing? Sometimes it's 300 years, 500 years, 700 years. It's very interesting to test how old this thing is. Obviously, you weren't there in the mortal body. A lot of my friends who believe in past lives, and it's okay to believe whatever you believe, but here's an interesting theory if you do believe in past lives, which may make more sense to you now that you hear about preconception trapped emotions. A lot of people have these memories of being in war, or a lot of memories of like being with their grandmother or great-great-great-great-grandmother who was drowning in some witch project, or they picture, you know, getting hung, or something happens where they see someone getting hung and they're like in medieval times. And they think that that has to be a past life. Here's another proposition that it could have been, not saying that it couldn't be a past life, but here's another proposition, is that maybe you witnessed a family member go through that. And Dr. Brad has a theory that he prayed about it and he muscle tested that we were being guardian angels to our family. You might have witnessed a family member go through some troubling times. And what's interesting is that sometimes I ask the body, I say, is this your own emotion? Like you in the spirit body feeling sadness? And sometimes the body says no. So then I would say, well, then what is this? It's kind of what they call a shared emotion. So a shared emotion is when the person that you're being a guardian to, you're basically like feeling what they're feeling, because you're obviously growing attachment to a family member of yours. And if they're going through deep, deep, deep sadness, you felt their sadness, and guess how long you've held it for? 400, 300 years. That's why sometimes you might feel like, man, everything's going great in my life, but for some reason I just feel sad. Or even worse, what if you're in a relationship that's supposed to be good for you, but for some reason you sabotage it because you feel sad in the relationship? Is it possible that maybe you were witnessing a family member that you were being a guardian for, and maybe they in their relationship felt sad? And then that's why you're like, man, relationships just bring you sadness. And you held that for 430 plus years. And now you're in a relationship, you're like getting a deja vu. Your subconscious is getting a deja vu, like be careful, you might feel sadness in this relationship. That's what it might lead to. So then you just feel this general sadness. So it can be very groundbreaking when you release these preconception trapped emotions. I know Dr. Brad even said that, I've even gone even further detective and be like, why did you feel that sadness? Is it because I can ask her body or his body, whoever client I'm working with, they witnessed a life, like someone's life. So you can just say, does the sadness have to do with them and their family at all? Why is like, no. Does it have to do with them and their partner, their relationship? Boom, there we go. So again, you're feeling sadness in your relationship, could be sadness from a family member you were trying to help out and they were dealing with specifically a relationship. So I love releasing these preconception trapped emotions, and they can be very groundbreaking. There's also in the body code work epigenetics, so releasing trapped emotions like that are inherited. Those are very different. Inherited means it goes through the egg or the sperm, and they get passed down from family to family. This is more of you witnessing something or helping someone out in the real world, and you were just a spirit body. Now, obviously, where the tables have turned, and now they're looking after us. So if you've ever had an experience where you feel like your grandmother is close to you, your great-grandmother is close to you, or your mother intervenes who's passed away, yeah, very well, I would totally believe that, because they're very, very close to us. I believe the spirit world's here on earth. And so as we're doing work together, usually a family member shows up on my side, usually a family member shows up on your side. I even had a moment where someone's mom put their hands on my head. Happened every time I work with this client. And I asked her, I said, did your mom bless you? Did she put her hands over your head? She's like, yeah, she does. And I was like, what religion was she? Oh, she was Catholic. Okay. Well, yeah, your mom is, my head always feels really tight, like someone's palming my head. And I think instead of her being comforting her daughter over there, she's over here making sure, hey, healer, take care of my daughter. And so I'm going to bless your head. And so, yeah, I really believe, I have a true testimony that they're a lot closer to us than we think. And it's a beautiful thing that we're starting to acknowledge more that some of the stuff that we're dealing with, some of the life issues we're dealing with, maybe has nothing to do with us, nothing to do with our family, but something to do with our past life when we were in the spirit body. So hopefully that makes you more easy on yourself. That if you're dealing with some stuff right now, there could be stuff that's outside of your control, has nothing even to do with your life. And you can find it in the body code. So if you haven't had a complimentary session, definitely, I'll leave a link down there if you were like, I'm interested to know more about this. But hopefully this kind of inspires you to be like, we got to open up our minds more. And the things you don't know could be hurting you. So hopefully you got something out of this, and you got more information about preconception trapped emotions. And I look forward to sharing a message soon. All right, guys, you take care. Bye-bye.